This is a demo of our Sokoke magnetic sweeper by Blue Streak Equipment. This is basically the upscaled version of our previous Meerkat magnetic sweeper, which was built for skid steers, but as you can see on this one, we have it on the front of a loader or backhoe. So this unit is 92 inches wide and weighs about 1,490 pounds, making it an appropriate size for something like this loader. It will also work on a skid steer, but you'll need to make sure your skid steer has sufficient lifting power and can support this much weight on the front of it. So this is the construction area of a local landfill, and we come here every once in a while to test our sweepers and clean up the nails. On the way in here, I saw about a 1952 International pickup truck. He was coming in ahead of us, and while we were getting this magnet set up onto the loader, he was at a stop sign and I saw he had a flat tire. So obviously in a place like a landfill, especially in the construction area, which I think is where that guy was going, you're gonna get a lot of metal debris on the ground. So that's why it makes sense to have a magnet like this to clean up this area. So this thing has 6x8 magnet assemblies in it, 3 of them. And you can see he's kind of running it at like anywhere between 2 to about 6.5, 7 inches off the ground. So this magnet did pick up a roofing nail, which is our standard test, from 12.5 inches off the ground. So when you're in our recommended sweeping range, which is like 3 to 6 inches or 3 to 7 inches, it's gonna perform pretty well. So as with all the Blue Streak magnetic sweepers, this Sokoke has our wraparound function. So all that means is because the magnets are fully packed in all the assemblies, anytime that magnet hits the ground and could potentially wipe the nails off the bottom of it, they're just gonna snap around to the back of the magnet. You see stuff like this, it's on the ground all over the place. So you could put this on a skid steer as long as it's got the right lifting capacity. And the reason you would do that over the standard Meerkat magnet is the increased holding power you get from this thing. So this is a 92-inch sweeping width, and what that means is there's more surface area for the magnet to hold on to any nails or anything you pick up. So with this 92-inch sweeping width, you can see on the back of that loader, it just goes outside the wheels. So with this thing on the front of your loader, you're not going to get a flat tire while you're doing this cleaning job. There's an optional debris digging rake attachment we can see on the front. So all that's going to do is just kick up the dirt, get anything that's stuck in the ground out of it and onto the magnet. So that's after 4 minutes of sweeping. Got a pretty decent collection on the bottom there. And you see on the back, the wraparound function keeps everything stuck on the back. It weighs 1,491 pounds compared to the 737 of the Meerkat. And as well with the 92-inch sweeping width, it's quite a bit wider. But a difference from the Meerkat is the size of the magnets. So the magnets on the inside of this Sokoke are 9 inches by 6.5 inches by 29 inches. So there's 3 of those magnets to give you a total sweeping width of 92 inches. And the way the Sokoke cleans off is the same as the Meerkat, where all of those 9 by 6.5 magnet assemblies are on pivots. And when you dump the magnet forward like you'd be dumping out a bucket, the magnets pivot away from the debris pan, which separates the magnetic field from the debris stuck on the pan, which then allows you to drop everything off into a dumpster. And you can see it's taking a pretty good chunk out of that concrete. He's got it run right in the ground there, and that's going to demonstrate our wraparound function, as all of the nails that were on the bottom would have got wiped off if we didn't have the wraparound function. So you can see the top of this is pretty flat because he hit the bottom a few times, and there is no visible metal debris on the surface, which means all of it was retained on the back of the debris pan. So everything we got on the other side of the yard, when he just touched down with that magnet, pretty much got wiped to the back of the magnet. So now the whole debris pan on the front is empty, so we should be able to collect a lot more material. But that just shows the power of these assemblies over a smaller design. These things can hang on to pounds and pounds of nails and other metal debris before you're going to run out of pickup power. So that's why even at this between like 5 and 6 inch sweeping height, he can run around with this thing at a fairly high rate of speed, and it's still going to be picking up lots of debris. So this Sokoke magnetic sweeper is all made out of powder coated and painted steel and stainless steel. Most of the construction is pretty heavy gauge steel, with the debris pan and the magnet housings being stainless steel. All the pivot points on it are UHMW bushings. With a solid welded and bolted construction, this thing's not going to break. It's very well constructed, and it doesn't look out of place on any heavy machinery. So you can see those rakes on the front also double as a kind of a plow type deal. Like, you got those big rubber mud guards on the front that prevent stones from getting flung into things you don't want them flung into. And that also works just to push stuff that's on the ground. So even if you're trying to clear a trail, clear a field, clear a construction area after you've been working and there's some plywood or some wood on the ground, those rakes are going to work in tandem with the magnet to get everything out of the way.